Hello there, this is me, Dory Kaiser93, and this is a Pretty Rhythm Dear My Future, episode 51, or final review. Now, again, the series was cool, but let's get on with the review. The episode starts off with the pair charms, and they're talking about how the Great Symphony was a great success, and that everyone's slowly coming back to the Prism show. After that, we see Mia walking, and she explains the events on her calendar on her phone. First off is the Shuffle Team shopping. Day after that would be Rizumu's wedding, and the final day that she explains is Purty's departure to Korea once again. So we first see the first Shuffle Team we see is Sprouts, and they're eating at that restaurant again. Sorry, they say they're Cupid because they got the waitress and the chef to get engaged because they show the gold ring on the waitress's hand, and they say they're Cupid, right? But then Jaehyun's like, oh yeah, even though we're Cupid, we still haven't. What about Reina? Like, she still has someone she loves, right? And Reina's like, oh yeah, what do you like? Why does it have to all shift to me for any reason? Then we see Pierre in the zoo that we saw them in before in episode 17, I believe. And then they start talking about how it's been fun and everything, and it's all been good and everything, and we're so happy and thankful that we were able to do all this. And Reina and Karin even says she's glad that she's met all of them, and that she was able to meet Purty and all the members of Prism. Then we see Cosmos. Cosmos is walking across the mall, I believe, and Chain's like, oh yeah, only 2 days, and we'll be leaving. And Somin says she's depressed and such, but it's a depressing situation. But Mia's like, oh, like, I don't know why you would say that. I mean, you're just gonna cry about it again, and such. And Somi's like, what are you talking about? Mia's like, oh yeah, you just cry always. But Somi's like, that's not true. I'm going to not do that anymore. I'm gonna hold it back. Then we see Sho and Yuzu. Then we see Yuzu packing up in the back of Dear Crown, and Sho comes in. Sho asks, is it true you're going on a journey around the world? Yuzu says, yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. First off, I'm going to Paris. Then I'm going to go to Sydney, then London, then New York. And I want to show the world, my talents. Shows them like I see. And then Somin comes in with Mia and Haein, and then looks at Yuzu. She looks at Yuzu and is about to cry, but holds it in. And then says, it was fantastic for the times we had, and that I want to one day become a lady that will be able to proudly wear your designs. And I want to give you the courage. But Yuzu says, oh, you already gave me the courage. And then shows her the flower that she gave him in the Prism Act. Then I believe after that, I'm sorry, it's early in the morning, I guess. But after that, I believe, me and Prism Ace have a little talk and such about what they've done. About Prism Ace says, "Oh, you've grown into such a star. I'm proud to see that." And that it seems that there's no need for this mask anymore, and I'm gonna take off this mask. But Mia says, no. Prism Ace is always gonna be Prism Ace to me, no matter what happens. And then Prism Ace is like, yep, all right, I understand. Then this is farewell, I guess. And then reaches out his hand to shake Mia's hand. Then before Mia reaches out her hand and almost clasps it, Prism Ace rises into the sky, and he disappears, but then the ball opens up and says adios. and such, like his little thing, adios, farewell, like what he used to say every time he used to leave. And then we see we see June, and June's up top, and he walks and he says, oh yeah, there really is no need for this mask anymore, and then walks away with this serious expression. Sorry. Yep, and then after that, it is Rizumu and Hibiki's wedding, which most people have been waiting for since they announced it in Rizumu's confession episode. So we see her in the wedding dress, we see Hibiki in his suit, and then we see Younghwa and Itsuki. They're talking about how Love Mix is going to be disbanded, but then, Then Itsuki says, no, not really, because I can be a dancing sports doctor and still continue my my Love Mix job, or my Love Mix gig. Younghwa is proud to hear this and hugs him and says, oh, Ichan, I knew you were the best. And then he said that he was looking for people, like there are people that have to be escorted around the world, but there is one person that still needs to be escorted in Japan, and grabs Itsuki's arm and throws him in a direction, says, have a nice trip. Once Itsuki lands, he starts stumbling and then stumbles into Reina. Reina's, of course, shocked, but then Itsuki says, oh, I know a good place to eat, and do you want to go together with me? And, of course, Reina gets red-faced, and Mia makes fun of her red face, calling her tomato again, and Reina runs after Mia. Then we see Kyoko and Michelle. They're talking, and Kyoko's like, oh, yeah, Michelle, she's like, you're not going to do it anymore? Is it true? And Kyoko says, yes, I'm going to quit being the president. Like I said before, I'm going to retire. And Michelle's like, all right, like, how do you feel about that and such? Like, what about Pretty Top? And, Kyoko says, I'm not interested in the money anymore. And don't worry about that. I've already got that covered. Then we see Serena and says, you're becoming the president? We see her face. And then we see Mia, and she says, yep, I'm going to become the president. And, I just want to work on making it a better place, because the prison world is still evolving, and I want to help that grow. And then I was like, oh, it's shocking to see this actually happen. Such, yay. And I believe, I'm sorry. I know. I should have, like, this. The bouquet comes. Oh, yeah. And then Sho comes up to Ira and shows her a ticket, a plane ticket. And Ira's like, you're going to New York? Like, with the puzzled expression. And then we see Rizumu. Rizumu's like, oh, I've already decided. Like, sorry to everyone who wanted the bouquet. Like, it's the usual tradition. But I've already decided who I'm giving the bouquet to. Rizumu then throws it, and it goes to Kyoko. Kyoko's wondering, oh, I'm 40. I don't need this. Why do I even need this bouquet? It's not like I'm ever going to get married. But then we see a black box appear next to her. Open it up, and it's June, and says, Isechi Kyoko-san, let's get married. Yes. And then everyone was shocked. Even I was shocked over it. I was like, what? Like, I know people were thinking about it and such, but, I mean, well, what happened? So, after that, we see Kay, and then Kay reads a letter from Myeonju saying that there's a new age of Prism Stars coming about, and I can't wait to see what happens. And Kay's happy. She opens the window and looks out. Then we see Kintaro, but we don't see Kintaro's face. He's just picking out land for, like, crops and such outside of Kay's house. Then after that, we see Purity, and during the night, and they're walking they're walking away, and they're going to and they're going back to the hotel and such, and they're wondering, oh yeah, how are we supposed to say goodbye and such, and it's like, oh, it's with a smile. And then we see Heian look up. After that, we see Bibin and Penguin Sensei. They have their little moment we see Mion's crying about June and Kyoko getting married and such, and then said, oh yeah, I had no idea that you guys were siblings, and why didn't you tell me this before? Kyoko's like, oh, meh. But then, like, oh, it's not like that. And then June's like, oh, I planned this. Like, it was already, I already said that this was going to happen. But then June asks, oh, yeah, what are you doing, Mion? And Mion's like, oh, I'm going to search the stars. I'm going to search for stars. There's still stars up there that haven't been found yet. And everyone's happy about that. And then we see, I believe it's Sho. And Sho is sitting down, right? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Mion and Wataru, they have their little moment. They're like, oh. Wataru's like, oh, yeah, Mion, it's your first job as the president, right? And he's like, yeah. Then she's like, yeah, of course it is. And he says, oh, yeah, right for him's supposed to be your right man, right? Mion says, give me 50 million yen. Then we see Younghwa and Itsuki. They shake hands and such. And Younghwa walks away. And then Yuzu says the same to Michelle and says, goodbye, everyone. And then we see Sho sitting down, looking at his watch, waiting for the plane to come. And then we see Ira run up with her luggage and is about to go hug Sho. But, of course, she falls flat on her face. And then Sho says, oh, you're an interesting girl, Ira. And then Ira is like, tee such, and then just looks off. Then we see Purity and Prisme. The saddest part of the episode, I cannot stress that enough. Because Purity walks off, but then Mia starts singing Dear My Future. Oh, saddest freaking moment ever. And then we see, Purity walk back, they're crying, and Prisme's crying and such. And they're saying, oh gosh, it was so fun, never forget about us. And then we see Prisme dancing, and Mia's like, oh yeah, she's like talking through the fourth wall, and she's saying, oh, how you guys doing? You guys happy? I'm happy, I'm fine. And you just have to look off, and just keep doing what we keep doing, because I have no choice but to keep having fun. And then Prisme goes into a prism act, and then they see Purity, and then we see the the little ending message at the end, and that's the end of the series. Again, I'm going to explain more in my series review, which I'm going to be posting, I believe, in place of preview review, since there's no preview review this week. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.